Hi Virgo. Now, this is the time of the year when the sun comes back round to the same place, and it's a very practical place. And so the material and physical aspects of your life here on Earth are going to be highlighted, particularly up until the 19th. So basically, it's right up your street, Virgo, because it might mean that you've got to deal with a lot of detail. You've got to sort of analyse things, and you've got to be doing stuff with your hands as well, possibly, particularly in the first half of the month. So you may be putting physical effort into getting things running smoothly and things how you want them to be. And also it looks as though you're going to have some help as well. So it's a good time for some of you to be paying more attention to the to-do list. Also health, diet and exercise. It might be yours, might be another's, might be both. Because organising all that basic stuff helps you to pave the way for better conditions in the future. And also contact with service providers is more likely at the moment as well. Now it looks as though, as I say, you're going to get some help, because close relationships of all kinds are going to get a boost, a tremendous boost. You and someone could really hit it off. Or you could just feel the milk of human kindness, the support coming to you at certain times from certain people, and with other people you find that you really can do business together. It's good enough compromise. So from the 8th, until the 8th, it's more on a sort of like bouncing ideas off each other and kind of agreeing things in principle level, and then from the 8th, things kind of deepen, I think. In some types of relationship, like a love relationship, could get more intimate or passionate from that time. If it's another kind of close relationship, then you could benefit from their input, their support, or just you getting things off your chest. Or they're getting things off their chest, because there's a kind of a reciprocity here with where Venus is going to be from the 8th onwards. Also in a professional sense, you could benefit and really benefit financially or in a material sense through a relationship. It gives you more access to helpful resources. Anyway, it could also be that you and a relationship, friendship or a love relationship is centered around some sort of joint interest, joint monies, joint project, something that you both kind of share. So there's a kind of this reciprocal feeling on that level of things as well. But also, it's quite an emotional area too. So feelings, emotional feelings, could tend to be a little bit nearer the surface, and there will be moments, that you feel that. But also, I think very much you will have the resources, be they material ones or emotional ones, at hand to keep you happy. The emotional support is going to be there. Now, until mid-month, Mercury is going to be very much focused on the to-do list, practical chores, perhaps correspondence, general paperwork, and a myriad of other little details. Keeping a steady weather eye on health as well, yours or another's. And dealing with the mechanical details of daily life, that's definitely going to be a keynote. So vehicles or travel or transport may be emphasized at this time. And then from mid-month, information exchange in a personal, professional sense is very well highlighted, very busy, shows that two heads are better than one, and you'll probably enjoy bouncing ideas off one another. You could be very informed by somebody, you could learn a lot from somebody, or they are learning a lot from what you're giving to them. So all of that could help you clarifying your own thinking on something. Also, you could be more looked upon as the information giver, the go-between, the agent, the guide, the advisor, the teacher, at this time. That's from mid-month onwards. Now, you've got feisty Mars in your sign, and Mars is going to be there until July. So that can make you, in general, a little bit more assertive and even at times a lot more feisty, and not backwards in coming forwards with what you want. Others might notice this boldness in you, which is they're not familiar with. They're not accustomed to that. Dealing with the mechanical details of daily life are going to be a keynote. More hustle and bustle around you and a busier time around you is going to be a keynote, I think. Also, you wanting to get cracking with things and be more decisive about things. There's going to probably be a lot of emphasis on joint communications, a good time to thresh out a plan with somebody. Like I say, it's a bit feisty, so you might have to agree to disagree on something. But like I said earlier, you might have to find a compromise which is good enough. This can work. It's not the ideal, but this could work. But another's advice or know-how could give you the pieces of the puzzle that you've been searching for, and then helps you then to go forward. So Mars in your sign could be, a very productive time. If you're realistic about tackling the devil in the detail, don't take on too much, because that's a pitfall with Mars. Mars overstretches energies and then gets tired out and burns out. So don't do that. But definitely catching up with the to-do list or things gathering dust in the corner, applying your know-how or learning some new know-how. This would be a very good thing to do with Mars in your sign. Venus, which could be a female influence, but doesn't have to be, is going to be there to help you. So you'll be teaming up with someone, and you'll feel supported through close relationships. Yes, it could be, as I say, something materially beneficial for you, as long as you understand that. And I shouldn't have to say this to any Virgo, but with Mars in your sign, you might actually steamroller or tend to dominate situations just because you've just got this kind of boost of energy. So Mars will give you the decisiveness, the assertiveness, the energy to deal with whatever comes along. So Mars coming into your sign will come into your sign at whatever level you are or whatever stage you are in your life. So it's going to affect people differently. I mean, it's in there for such a long time that I would say the overview is that you could get an awful lot done and be glad you did it at the end of the transit. Could find yourself decluttering inwardly and outwardly, look over your shoulder and realize just how much ground you've covered. Now, having said all that, this month, February and March, Mars is going retrograde. So this tends to slow down a planet and cramp its style a little bit. So it can work in a number of ways, but it might mean that you shouldn't leap forward. You shouldn't try to win the war. You shouldn't try to leap forward in any kind of dramatic sense over these 2 months here. You could definitely end up feeling very, very frustrated, maybe. So just remember, this time here, slow and steady wins the race. And then from April onwards, you'll be back behind the wheel and rolling forwards more quickly, I think. So in general, this long transit of Mars has you getting decisive about things that were very much up in the air and undecided over last October and some of November. You can feel very action orientated, and by the end of the transit be very much ready for the next chapter in your life. Others can see you as being a lot more attractive, actually, and confident, and courageous and bold, and be admiring of your bravery in some way, you know, and see you, as I say, as being a lot more attractive. So just be aware of that. And great time to be connecting with others, flitting hither and thither, connecting with others over the wires, and developing yourself physically, mentally, your outer image, but your inner self, definitely to be doing that, and your sense of self-identity and your sense of power, but try not to overdo it, as I said before. From the 19th, you'll be cooperating and liaising, and perhaps a friendship or professional relationship could be deepening then, or there's more understanding between you. Now, every month I mention the slower moving planets, but I'm not going to do that this month, because you can always go to my website and just read about the slower moving planets. All the time it's been in Aquarius, it has encouraged you to be more empathic in the services you provide, in the work that you do on a daily basis. It's maybe evoked a more imaginative, artistic, or spiritual, healing way of working. But like I say, Neptune's coming out of there, and it's going to be going into your opposite sign. This is going to be affecting you very early, Virgos, maybe born in the first couple of days or with the first couple of degrees of Virgo rising, or in fact you're very late, Virgos, the last day of Virgo. So there's not a great deal, you know, that I can say about it now that you will actually probably remember, but because it's coming into your opposite sign, the general sort of gist of it would be that you should be more drawn to working empathically and compassionately with others. You might tend to be over-romanticizing and putting others on a pedestal, though, so watch that one. And you might be just assuming that expectations are the same between you and someone, whether that's in a personal relationship or a professional sense. Don't do that, because Neptune tends to distort. Neptune is about mists and confusions and muddles. So with Neptune in your opposite side, you're going to have to be clearer than ever about where both of you stand in a personal or a professional business type relationship, you see, because Neptune can catch you out. Just balance, you know, your idealism and your sort of castles in the air with harsh reality and your feet on the ground in, you know, intentions and expectations in one-to-one relationships. And I wish you well, and I'll see you the next time.